Let's talk some Pistons during the All-Star break. Obviously had a really good All-Star weekend so far. The Rising Star game was good. Three-point shootout was great. Dunk contest was superb, legendary. But let's talk about some Pistons. We back, Motor City Sports Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Latter half of the video, we talk about Derrick Rose wanting to go back to Chicago. And should the Pistons accommodate him before his contract is up? But first, let's talk about Brandon Ingram. All right, Brandon Ingram could be a free agent. I think he's somewhat of a restricted free agent. Some coming out this year. For a player 0 to 6 years, I think it started off at $27 million per year, all the way to $33 or $34 million. I think for 5 years, each year it increased up to like $35 million. I think a little bit more or less maybe. But Brandon Ingram is definitely a guy I would offer a max contract to come to Detroit, and I see if New Orleans would match it. I think they have a qualifying offer of $9 million or something like that, and they can match any offer. But I definitely, however it go, I definitely will offer Brandon Ingram a max deal. Soon as free agent opens, I'll offer him a max deal. If it comes down to New Orleans matching, then matching. I like Brandon Ingram's game. A lot of people said he was a bust in LA. Same reason they saying it about Kyle Kuzma. It's hard to play next to LeBron, let alone for Kyle Kuzma this year to play next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. That's an adjustment, especially a guy who can get his own shot. They just trying to turn Kyle Kuzma into a spot-up three-point shooter, and that's part of his game. But Kuzma can also post up, play some high-low with him. He can roll. He can be the roller in the pick and roll. He can be the dribbler in the pick and roll. He can be a mid-range shooter. I mean, he can get his own shot. So they pretty much, degrading his role down to, a glorified spot-up three-point shooter. And that's what tends to happen when you play with LeBron James. So I think it was, in the long haul, Brandon Ingram got the last laugh. In the short term, Kyle Kuzma got the last laugh staying in LA, but Ingram became an all-star. And I see he can do some great things in Detroit. Him and Sayoko Diombo, if they can play them nice wings right there. The length, the ability to handle the ball for Brandon Ingram, I think is great. Until they can find that next point guard. He really is a point forward. He really like your Grant, your Scottie Pippen. He really can facilitate the offense until you find that next guard. And he provides shooting. He provides scoring. Just a little bit of issues about his health concern, with the blood clots and some of the other concerns. But other than that, I think he coming into his own. I think he could be the next Grant Hill as far as NBA players coming out of Duke. I think he could fulfill the prophecy as being really, really good. But outside the health concerns, I have no issue, with bringing him in for a max deal. I think he brings everything that the Pistons would need and want. He brings an all-star. He brings a scorer. He brings a perimeter guy that's dominant. And you just got to develop your other guys around him. But if it comes down to the draft and they get a good pick, if they can get a point guard, people like Cole Anthony, a little bit injury concern there. I like LaMelo Ball, what he brings to the game. They can find a point guard to go with them three. Diombo, Ingram, and maybe a guard like LaMelo, Cole Anthony. I'm telling you, the way the basketball that they will play up and down, people gonna come to Little Caesars Arena, and they gonna pay to see that. Even if they chose to get James Wiseman and stick him in the middle, I get it. But right now it's a perimeter, it's a guard dominant, wing dominant game, and Ingram makes a ton of sense. It really does. People want to complain about paying him a max deal, not a super max deal, a max deal for 0 to 6 years in the league. Remember it was rumors about the Pistons willing to pay Draymond Green a max deal. Draymond Green probably was smart enough to stay with Golden State, knowing that was an ideal fit. But with Brandon, I love Brandon game. And I love what he's becoming in New Orleans. LeBron held him back. Obviously, his rookie year was his rookie year. But he'll bring a lot to Detroit, man. And Detroit that'd be a quick rebuild right there. That'd be a very, very quick rebuild, especially if you get that right draft pick and you capitalize on it. That'd be a quick rebuild. You got, you have a few players to build around. And also you got the Blake contract that can free up some more money down the line. So I like that move for the Pistons to do that, man. And then if you choose to keep Derrick Rose with them, you know what I'm saying? We talked about Derrick Rose in a second. It just make a ton of sense. A ton of sense to get a prolific scorer like that. it's just the health concerns that worry you. In the NBA, everybody load management. They don't make them like Iverson no more, Chuck. They don't make them like the Iron Mans of the NBA, Kareem and Magic. These dudes ain't playing 80, 79, 82 games a season, like that no more. It's all about analytics. The numbers have taken over. So you would have to manage Ingram. I feel like they have to manage Sayoko until he grows into his grown man body. But that's the only guy I'm paying big money to is Ingram. I won't pay no big money to Fred VanVleet at all because, he's a liability on the defensive end. Ingram, that length with Sayoko and Ingram on the wings, a lot of people going to have problems getting past that. And if you could put a LaMelo Ball out there, you kind of looking like Milwaukee now with length, and also with shooting. That's where the NBA going. Then all those guys can get their bucket going to the rim. That's a really, really good young big three if you can get that. Like I said, if you want to get the kid out of Georgia, that'll work. You want to get the James Wiseman to do in the middle, that'll work. But also you got Christian Wood to think about that can hoop too. You probably can play Wiseman and Wood together. That'll be a really, really long lineup as far as length for the Pistons, man. So we'll see which way they go. But that's the only guy I'm offering the max deal to coming out this year is Brandon Ingram. He's just a certified baller, man. But with Derrick Rose said he wants to go back to Chicago when his contract is up with Detroit. And that's the thing about Derrick Rose. People don't understand. Derrick Rose not chasing the championship. Derrick Rose not chasing the MVP. Derrick Rose is playing for two. He want to play close to Chicago or in Chicago. And Derrick Rose planning to keep that Adidas deal alive and keep stacking his bank. And he probably truly love the game too. But I would accommodate him this summer. You know what I'm saying? He really not. I mean, even if going back to Chicago, they're not winning nothing right now, and they stacked that guard. I mean, from Chris Dunn to Sharansky to Kobe White, that we would have to get one of those guards back. And preferably, I would take Chris Dunn, but Chris Dunn really don't shoot that well. So if we're in position in the draft to get a guard, then maybe I don't know what type of deal we can get for Derrick Rose and what would be the going rate with Chicago, but. I would, if that's where you want to go, I would trade him back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? See what I can get for him off of there. Thaddeus Young or something like that, whatever the salaries match up. But, if I obviously feel that he want to be at home. That's why he came to Detroit. That's why he was in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? He want to play real, real close to Chicago. And like I said before, people want to see Derrick Rose on the winning team. But Chicago ain't a running team neither. Derrick Rose wants to be close to the crib. I think Derrick Rose legitimately loves the city of Chicago to death. Even though he said he struggled with the PSTD, whatever it is, from all the shooting on the south side of Chicago and all that, I think he truly wants to be there. And I think if I'm the Pistons, I sit him down and talk to him and see if we get a deal done with the Bulls. But you got to remember, you still need some of those veterans in the locker room. Derrick Rose can be a great vet for the next guard to come in here, because the Pistons, that's their number one need is a point guard. So it's kind of a thin line. He also said he wanted to play his contract out. So if you can get a guard coming out the draft and Derrick Rose can mentor him, then that's why I said it's kind of a slippery slope right there. But you really don't want to let Derrick Rose go for nothing. You really don't want to see Derrick Rose play on a rebuilding team, but, I probably want to keep Derrick Rose around to help the young guys, the young guards, really develop and get that confidence. But like I said, you probably see Luke Kennard moved as well, too. You're going to see him moved, down the stretch, man. And, it's going to be interesting rebuild for the Pistons. Real, real interesting. I think, Brandon Ingram can make it less painful, quicker. Good high draft pick, which the NBA lottery is rigged in a lot of people's opinion. I think it can really help us out a lot. If we can help us out a lot, we get a good lottery pick, man, and get a good guard up there, and Derrick Rose can help develop him. But hey, let me know what you guys think on Ingram. What y'all think about Derrick Rose? So we trade him back to Chicago or let him play out his contract. Sound like he's going back either way, but Chicago will want him to come back, and they management and GM been a mess even when Jordan was there. But hey, Motor City Sports Talk. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? That link's in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. And check out the channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV, for more sports, music, news, and entertainment. All that information for our social media is in the description. Once again, check my other channel, Wild Goodfellas Sports TV, right here on YouTube. We gone.